It's illegal.
Marie! Shut up!
What? I'm sorry. Please don't speak to me like that. I am simply saying that you
Will
can't
you shut
walk
up?
Hey.
Shut the hell up! Shut up! Shut up!
Skylar,
shut up!
please
Shut up!
stop.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
So Star Wars Celebration just happened, and people were celebrating, having fun, and rejoicing over the new wave of content on its way in the coming years. But there were also those who were not celebrating. No, they were crying, throwing temper tantrums, and having full-blown meltdowns. Star Wars Celebration became a focal point for a lot of these people, as it came with a lot of announcements for new releases, and gave fans an idea of where Star Wars was headed. For many people, this was news worth celebrating over, and for others, this was somehow a sign that Kathleen Kennedy is on thin ice at Disney and about to be fired. This video was going to just be about click and rage bait creators milking Celebration news for the grift, but that would be a sorely missed opportunity if I did not talk about how it affects Marvel and popular media as a whole. This video is not meant to start beef with anyone. I genuinely don't care about them, and I really don't want to interact with them or their content. I was not going to make a video like this, but at this point, it's affecting me, because my feed is nothing but videos that look like this. So today we're talking about TFM, the fandom menace. As someone who is very critical and often speaks negatively about media I don't particularly like, I think it's important to emphasize that media should always be criticized, and it's okay to be a critic of media. I myself am one, but it's another thing entirely to make your personality about hating something you clearly have a deep-seated love for. When I see someone ranting about how comic book movies are woke garbage and that everyone should boycott them, but they're talking to a camera with a wall full of collectibles and comics behind them, I don't see someone who hates comic book movies. I see a grifter profiting off of outrage exhibited by a portion of any given fandom. All fandoms have their toxic corners, but there's nothing quite like the Star Wars fandom. There's a reason the saying "nobody hates Star Wars more than Star Wars fans" exists. This negative reaction to new Star Wars content didn't start when Disney bought Lucasfilm, it started with the prequels. There's a reason Ahmed Best nearly took his own life and Jake Lloyd is now a paranoid schizophrenic. It's nearly impossible and also not worth trying to find one person to blame for all of this, because it's really the fault of a collective. So while I was much too young to have ever been on the internet during the time the prequels were being torn to shreds on fandom forums, I was old enough and very much present when this happened with the sequels. Regardless of how you feel about The Last Jedi, I think it's very obvious that Lucasfilm was convinced they had an absolute banger on their hands. They probably thought it was a bold direction to take the trilogy, and they offered Rian Johnson his own trilogy. But the fan reaction was so visceral, they made a 2-hour and 22-minute apology video that also managed to make everything else worse in the process. Now, if you know me, you know I do not like the sequels, like, at all. But where I differ from these guys is that I'm not an insufferable and miserable piece of shit. I have never in my life believed for even a second that the sequels were not canon or were going to be decanonized by Favreau and Filoni. It's not worth arguing over whether or not the sequels are actually canon. I mean, it's a fictional universe with content that contradicts itself all over. If you want to create your own line of continuity and follow that, you totally can. That's fine. But if you insist the sequel trilogy is not only not canon currently, but will be erased entirely with future projects, you are an idiot.
Ahsoka Season 1 will have 8 episodes.
Massive W, this show will retcon the garbage sequel trilogy. I'm telling you that Rey film won't get made. So many Lucasfilm projects have been shelved and canceled, and that Rey film will end up being canceled, and the sequel trilogy will be retconned.
Look, I don't think Rey is a great protagonist, okay? And I understand that many people wanted to see Luke do all the things that Rey will probably get to do in her own new movie. But this movie is not being made for me. It's being made for these people. All the little girls who watched these movies and fell in love with the franchise. They're the ones who bought all the Rey Halloween costumes and Rey lunchboxes. This movie is for them. These are children. They do not give a rat's ass what grown men think about Star Wars. Hell, they probably can't even access these channels from YouTube Kids on their iPads. These guys put out 1 to 3 or even 4 videos every single day, rambling at least beyond 8 minutes for extra ad revenue, and I personally just don't get how people consume this content day in and day out. Constantly hearing the same person repeat the same talking points that have been going around for years now about the sequels, about Rey, about Kathleen Kennedy, about Lucasfilm, about Disney, and everything in between has to be exhausting. The same goes for those who make the content itself. If I had to spend every waking hour in front of a camera finding something to be mad about in a franchise I clearly enjoy off camera, I would hate my life. But these kinds of videos rake in tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of views, and I've seen the CPMs for engagement like that. These guys make a lot of money, and it's no wonder why they make so many videos every single day. It's just that to me, it's such a weird exchange. These people make content channeling their outrage about whatever is happening that day, or if they're wearing it thin, they'll just make shit up. They then package this outrage into content you can easily consume, and then you watch a handful of their videos throughout the day. Make no mistake, the people who make these videos and those who watch these videos enjoy the media they're hating on. If they did not enjoy it, they would not make these videos, nor would they watch them. If you were to say Star Wars is stupid, it's for babies, and if you're an adult who likes it, you're a degenerate, I'm going to expect that you yourself don't watch Star Wars and know nothing about it. There's the famous case of the time a young boy told Alec Guinness that he had watched Star Wars 100 times, and Guinness asked him to never watch it again, and the boy cried. Alec Guinness thinks Star Wars is stupid and for babies, as he would later state that he hopes the boy did not grow up to be stuck in a fantasy land in his 30s. Who knows though, maybe that little boy is now the quartering or whoever the f***. That's the perspective that I can respect. But if you actually thought like that, you would not make videos every single day talking about the thing that you say is dumb and bad. It takes absolutely no creativity to sit in front of a camera and throw out culture war buzzwords and throw it at whatever you're mad about that day. It's a grift, and those who are in on the grift are f***ing insufferable. This video won't change anything. These people will still keep making their videos, their fans will keep watching their videos, and they're going to keep making a lot of money. But these people do have an impact on how other people think. Because for whatever reason, some parts of different fandoms have decided these people are worthy of respect and notoriety on subjects such as the fandoms they're part of. Of course, these people have their right to free speech, but it can absolutely be crossed in an example such as this. Now I'm just gonna say it. If someone is calling for an act of domestic and is tagging you in their tweet, implying they expect or assume you'll be on board with them, you need to reevaluate how you use your platform. Like I said before, outrage culture is not limited to Star Wars. So now we'll get into Marvel. So Disney released a trailer for The Marvels, which is like a sequel to Captain Marvel, but it brings in Miss Marvel and Monica Rambeau. I recall being an impressionable 15-year-old leading up to Captain Marvel's release, and believe me, back then I was the one watching all these videos saying Brie Larson is a woke SJW that hates men. Because of all this, I never saw Captain Marvel until like 2 years ago. But when I finally watched it, I was surprised by how not bad it actually was. Like, really? This is what you guys were fussing about? It's not great, but it's fine. It's pretty average. There are way worse MCU entries. The Marvels is receiving the exact same treatment because the grift has to be maintained year after year. It's a movie with 3 female leads. It's probably not going to advance the multiverse storyline, if at all, and therefore it is perfect for these goblins to piss and shit all over. I saw the trailer, and the fact that these grown-ass men had such visceral and passionately hateful reactions to this really made me realize that these guys will complain about anything. I'm not sorry. Dislike this video, unsubscribe if you like, but the movie looks fine to me. It looks enjoyable, and I know you are all going to be in that theater opening night to see it because you'll want to pump out 4 to 5 videos the next day calling it the worst thing you've ever seen, and insisting that this time Marvel is done for and they're finally dead, and you're gonna keep doing that again and again with every movie that comes out after it. Lastly, and very briefly, the Mario movie. These guys ate each other alive because they had split opinions on how to react to it. You've got those calling it anti-woke and saying critics hate it because there's no agenda, but then you have people who say it is woke because Princess Peach is a girl boss? Really? She's the ruler of a f***ing kingdom. She's literally the boss. I saw the movie too, and I did not really care much for it because it wasn't made for me. I did not grow up on Mario. I was not the target audience. I didn't even make a video reviewing it because I thought it would be a waste of time. This movie was geared towards children. This movie is doing so well because parents are taking their children to go see it. It has nothing to do with the quote-unquote culture war. If I spend any more time talking about these people, I am going to lose brain cells. Again, this video is not meant to start beef with anyone. This is just how I feel. If I have to hear nonstop how these people feel, I think I'm allowed to share how I feel. I hear time and time again that these people feel like they're being silenced. They feel like because they're conservative and counterculture against the mainstream or the Matrix that they're being silenced. And I just think that's adorable. Because for people who claim to be silenced, you guys seem to never shut the fuck up. But maybe you should. Just give it a shot.